Hello everyone, this is GameBro64. I am back finally with another video for you guys. Sorry it's been a very long time. School has been keeping me busy, but I'm finally out of it. I'm on winter break, and to start off winter break, I get sick. So hopefully my voice doesn't sound too disgusting, as well as my runny nose. But anywho, this is level 130 deck, sorry, not deck setup, level 130 death gear guide video. I haven't made one so long, so I'm kind of blanking here, guys. But 130 gear guide for death. I'm going to show you my 120 because it still works even though it's 130, just because it gives you high resist. The paradox gear, which is the 130 gear, just gives less resist and more damage and maybe more crit or something like that. I think maybe less crit because I'm using the hat. But it's a really good setup nonetheless for the 120 video that I posted on my channel probably a year ago or something like that, whenever it was. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the setup that was the old video and just the high resist show for all those who solo. And then after that I'll show you guys the paradox gear and the offensive kind of group setup. You can still probably solo with it, but you don't have as much resist as you do with this kind of tanky setup. So anywho, let's jump right into it. You got 127 damage, really nice damage there. Of course, as you see, I'm not running the Gulcher mount, so you can get an additional 3% off of that and make it 130 damage, which is real nice. 55 res across the board, very nice. Essentially it's like a universal TC tower that's on you at all times, unless they pierce you. But this is real nice just because most of the minions in Imperia, they only have around 5 pierce unless it's a boss. And so essentially you're reducing 50% of all damage coming into you. Plus you almost have 7,000 health, so that's real nice. Plus your death. So I mean, any damage you take, if you get enough blades on you and you throw a Lulu or a Scarecrow, you're going to gain all that health back, and then they have to sit through and try to penetrate this resist again. So that's real nice. Accuracy sitting at a high 33%. You only need 20% accuracy to not be able to fizzle to every single death spell. So we're 13 over. So this is good in case like the next world or something like that, where they give us gear where we lose a lot of accuracy. We have enough to sacrifice some accuracy and still keep like high damage, high crit, high resist, whatever the case is. Like we can afford to lose 13 accuracy and still be a-okay with not fizzling. So that's good. Plus any debuffs go on you, it's good to have that extra accuracy so you can power through. 33 crit, not too high, but in Imperia, for some reason when I was running through it, it seemed like my crit was going off pretty good. Alright, which is weird. Maybe it was like a hidden 63%, I don't know, but maybe they doubled it, or 66% in Imperia. I don't know what the case is, but for 33% it was going off pretty good for when I was throwing my hits, so that's pretty nice. You got 7 block to everything, and then of course your spirit schools, such as these two, you'll have 14, and some of you may understand that change already. The reason for that is the plant ring, which I'll show later in the video. But anywho, armor piercings 27%. So it's real nice there. Real good to have high armor piercing for things like the auras, like come on, let's not blank here. What's that bubble? It's those blue bubbles that go around. I can't think of their names right now. Dang it, that sucks and it annoys me right now. I'm blanking so hard. But the minus 20 bubbles, I can't think of them. It's good to pierce through that, and then leftover resist, or say you forgot your converts, you don't have to really worry so much about not doing enough damage because you have high armor piercing. Incoming's 35%, it's really good, so when the healer goes to heal you, you have more healing in, so you get more healing in on your wizard. It just kind of makes sense if you just think about it a little bit and say it over and over. Stun resist, really good. Actually no, sorry, this is really bad, but stun resist overall is good to have. So I would recommend having 5% in there in case you use something like a TC conviction, because 95 on the card and then 5 on your gear. So if you add that up, you have 100%. So that's real good for stuff like Darkmoor. Pip conversion is low, it's only 5%. It could get higher depending on if you swap to the crafted wands. Unfortunately, I prefer the Eye of the Soothsayer. I just like it more, even though you can get more damage and pip conversion on the crafted wands. It's your decision if you want to go there. 100 power pip chance, it's max. It's really nice to have this. You don't ever have to worry about new pips ever again. So if you can hit max, why not go for it? It's plain and simple. Shadow pip is low. The new Paradox gear gets you up to about a standard of a 9% instead of with the Darkmoor gear and everything only gives you about a 5 or a 6. So you definitely increase on Shadow Pip chance once you upgraded the Paradox gear, but for this video, if you're going to run high resist, then your Shadow Pip is going to be low. But I mean, you can increase this by using Triangle Jewels if you wanted to. You don't necessarily have to. 5 Shadow Pip is still plenty enough for me. Moving on to the overall gear, you have Crocopatria hat. That is really good. High resist, high damage. Then the robe has higher resist and higher damage than stuff like the Rattlebones or the Malistaire. Just keep in mind you will lose accuracy and power pip chance the more you upgrade. So from Malistaire to Rattlebones, you lose accuracy, power pip chance. And then from Rattlebones to here, you lose even more power pip chance and accuracy. So just keep that in mind once you're upgrading your sustain and your stuff that actually matters. That could drop. Boots, really good boots here. I just like them for high damage, high resist. That's the main reason why I run them. Unfortunately, you have to get the 110 version. If you get the 120 version, your damage drops by 1, your Shadow Pip increases by 1, and your resist increases by 1. So, I mean, you're only losing 1 damage to gain 1 resist and 1 more Shadow Pip chance, but still, I just like the higher damage rather than 1 extra resist. And I never had the time to get the 120 version. I just opened this at 110 and got it. The wand is your Eye of the Soothsayer. This one is a very nice wand in terms of pierce and damage. Crit and crit block is nice, but it's not necessarily needed. But I do like it for the high damage and high pierce. This is like close to the Witch Hunter. If you guys have ever heard of that wand or know that wand or anyone who has that wand, you're only losing 2 armor piercing from the Witch Hunter if you have that wand. So that's why I like this one a lot in terms of comparing to the Witch Hunter. This one is the Darkmoor dagger from the ghoul fight in the 3rd part. Essentially really good for accuracy and accuracy and power pip chance. Make sure your jewels are right on this. The 12% armor piercing, I see a lot of people not running 12% armor piercing and they wonder why their armor piercing is so low. More than half of anybody's armor piercing comes from jewels. Unless you're running stuff like the crafted dagger that gives you 5 armor piercing on this card or on this piece of gear, I think you can get that in Chrysalis. And then, or if you're running the PvP ring, level 90, that gives you 6 armor piercing on that. If you're not running those 2 pieces specifically or any Darkmoor gear, your armor piercing is going to be low if you don't have any jewels. I mean, from your ring and your dagger, you get 18% armor piercing. That's a huge amount, and most people are running anywhere from, I would say, maybe a 7 to about a 13. That's usually your average Joe is running about that much armor piercing, and then those who like PvP and know better, or not necessarily know better, but just those who PvP and focus on armor piercing, they can get theirs up to like 20 to 30 and sometimes even higher depending on if they're PvPing or not. But high armor piercing as a PvE player is still very important because you cut through bubbles, you cut through resist. If you forget your converts, you got high armor piercing, you don't have to worry about it. Stupid unwanted towers thrown up at the last second. It's good to have a high armor piercing, guys. So definitely strive for it. The jewels can be a little annoying to grind for, or if you can open up packs and you have the crowns inside the crown store, you can get nice 6% armor piercing jewels from the jewel packs inside the crown store. And if they're a little expensive, which I think they are, they're like $5.99 a pack, wait for the crown sale. A lot of people don't know about these crown specific shop sales that go on, and they do happen sometimes throughout the year, and it goes from $5.99 down to like $2.99 or $3.99. So I mean, it almost cuts it in half to where you can essentially buy more and spend less. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, that's all I want to kind of, my little rant on the dagger and the armor pierce. The amulet is, of course, your Morganth amulet. You need to have this. I like to have it for the blade. You can run the rat one or the Shane Von Shane one, whichever one you prefer. I like to have the extra blade on it for this guy. He takes a little bit extra to build up his hits, so that extra 45% blade can really help out in the end. Ring, you're going to have the plant ring. This is what I was talking about, where my plant, or with my block for life and myth, was a little bit off from all the other schools. It's because of this ring. High incoming, high damage, high armor piercing. That's why I love this. And high power pip chance of course. 17% is nuts. Pet, you want this max stat. If you don't have it max stat, that's perfectly fine. I don't have it max stat. I only have 10 proof, so that shows you how long I've worked on this guy. Anywho, really good. Either pet works. I prefer the armament. You get more blades out of it. The only sad part is if you throw a blue sharp, which is the pet blade, or if you throw a regular golden sharpen, the one you train from Azteca, you cannot tell the difference after you sharpen both blades. So you just gotta have to throw both of them and hope they're different. Otherwise, you have to kind of remember in your head which one is the pet sharp, which one is the regular sharp. So it's a little tricky and confusing for those. So some people will just prefer the pet blade with just a standard death blade. I can understand that, and that's good, but for me, for an advanced player, and for that wants that highest damage output as possible, I like the sharpened blade armament. It just gives you more options and more blades to use. Of course, the mount's going to be Gulcher mount. I don't have it. If you don't have that, get the Gulcher balance mount. It gives you 2 universal. The whale mount gives you 2 universal, and the battle mage keep gives you 2 universal damage. All 3 of those will do it. Or if you get lucky enough, you get the Gulcher mount for death, and you get your 3% there, which is real nice. Deck will be the Paradox gear. Right now I'm running the I have the Paradox right here, but right now I'm just running the 110, showing you my old setup that I had for 120. This is the Rasputin, I believe it is, or something like that. But essentially what you're going to be running your in-game is your Paradox gear. That is it. And then of course throw accuracy on it, just because you're already at an 100% power pip chance, so you might as well keep running accuracy, because there's nothing else you can use that's kind of useful for a triangle. Or maybe you can use those little bubbles or whatever. Anywho, that's the setup for the solo content. Now if you're a group player and you want to see the Paradox gear, this starts now. Now the stitch is terrible. I apologize, I just got all this gear last night. So let's go ahead and run through it. Actually, let's start with the overall stats. You got 140 damage, really nice damage increase from 127 on the old setup that I just showed you. However, your 55 resist drops down to 39, so your resist drops pretty good by 16%. And you gain only like 13 additional damage. You can kind of see where your resist is more of a loss than your damage gain, which is kind of bad. But I mean, you can definitely get this higher if you throw on things like the crafted wand from Arcanum or anything like that. You can definitely get your damage obviously higher. And then also the Gulcher mount, if you had that, that's an extra 3. Max that pet, there's an few extra points there as well. And then since I'm still running the same pet, you can obviously get the 10 proof on that and gain 1 more resist, so you have an even 40%. Accuracy is really high, 40%. You only need 20. You got 40, so you got double it. Really nice. Criticals, 40%. That actually went up, so that's pretty nice. Your block went up. That was 8 to everything. The other video had 7. This one's 16, and these two had, I think, 15 on the other video. So went up by 1. Whip-de-doo. Armor piercing drops by 3 to 24. That's not too bad. It's still really high. I would say having anywhere from 20 to 21 is good, so you can cut through things like the brace. That's what it's called. The 20 aura, that's blue. It's called brace. Oh man, it feels so much better remembering that garbage. Stun resist, you want it at 5. I don't have it. I need a stun jewel in here, and I'm looking for one. 35 incoming, really good. Healer goes to heal you. You get more healing in. 9 Shadow Pip, this is the new standard. If you don't have the triangle jewels that give you 3%, it's okay. Paradox Gear automatically gives you 9% Shadow Pip. So this is your norm right now. If you have the Paradox Gear, this is your standard amount. Everyone will get this with the Paradox Gear. Unless you equip the robe. I think the robe gives you like another like 4 or 5 Shadow Pip. I don't really know. Just the robe is kind of practically useless. Gives you no damage, crappy resist, really high health, maybe high block and high incoming, but that's it. Like no damage on the robe, so it's pointless to run the robe. But unless you're a tank. Power Pip chance max, you have 4 to spare for other alternative setups that you want to run. Maybe swap out the dagger and get something like Morganth dagger if you want. Pip conversion still 5%, no problem there, but you do have 7,300 health, so you went up about 600 in health, which is pretty nice. Each individual piece of gear, sorry I'm going a little bit fast this time, I'm sick and my voice is just kind of carry on here, but let's go ahead and start with it. You got the Paradox hat, this is very nice. I'm going to show you the comparison between the hat before, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're gaining and what you're losing and what you're missing out on. But essentially this is pretty nice. You get more pips, you get accuracy, you lose your pierce by 3, you get more health, you get more damage, you lose your crit by like, I'm going to just go by the first 2 numbers from a 3 to a 5, so you lose about 20 crit. And then of course your shadow pip increases from a 2 to a 4, so I mean that's pretty nice. And then the shadow damage goes down by 6, but no one really cares. So I mean, you can value what you want to value there. You can either run the Krakatopia or Malastare hat versus the Paradox. Most people prefer high damage and don't really care so much about resist. I think differently sometimes, but it all depends on the battle. Alright, if you're soloing a boss, you might want to go the high resist route and do the Krakatopia hat. If you're not soloing a boss and you're just doing minions, maybe you're running with a group, maybe even if you are doing a boss but you're running with a group, Paradox Gear is good. It's high damage. And you also have allies that are with you that either can help you build up your hit more, or you can they can hit with you, so you're not doing as much. Like you don't have to throw like 15 different blades on you. You can only throw like 1 or 2. He gets 1 or 2. He hits with something. You hit with something. Hopefully you both could do like 3 or 4K. Light Brigade armor, obviously it's the best one. If you can afford to lose power pip chance and accuracy, upgrade to this one. Malastare obviously gives you the highest armor pierce, or sorry, highest accuracy and power pip chance. I'm gonna call it Paccuracy for short because it's P and A, accuracy, and power pip chance. So Paccuracy, highest on the Malastare robe. Then you lose a little bit on the Rattle robe, and then you lose the most on this robe, but you gain the most damage, most resist, and most critical on this robe. So I mean, whatever you value. Death boots, Paradox. This is real nice in comparison to the Golger ones, or the Persian ones, sorry. Pretty much the only thing you're really losing is your resist. You go up in crit, you go up in damage, you go up in shad pip, go up in health, you go up in power pip chance. The only thing you're missing out on is 4 resist, and that's not too much, and the choke card if you ever use that. But I mean, this is a pretty good upgrade. You can even run the Croc hat and lose the damage, gain the resist, and then all you're really doing is you're losing 4 resist, so it's not too bad. If you still want high resist with high damage, and I'll show you that here in a bit, because you can do a lot of different combinations for this. Soothsayer wand, I already showed you that. That's important. High damage, high pierce. This one, same thing, high damage, high pierce, and the Paccuracy is really good on this. You can run Morganth if you want, because you can afford to lose 4 power pip chance, so don't be afraid to swap to Morganth if you want. You can afford to lose 2 accuracy on this, considering you have 4 D. And yeah, so, and I put a D in there just to emphasize how much insane accuracy you have. Morganth Amulet, really good, gives you a blade, pierce, resist, critical, health, just a little bit of everything, really nice. Ring, same ring as last time, high damage, high pierce, high incoming, high power pip chance. That's why I run it. Pet's very nice, just got to get it maxed stat. That's my only recommendation to Jared in the future, is get these things maxed stat so you can get 1 more damage, 1 more resist, and just look a little bit better, you know. Plus, everyone likes mad stats. So, Gulcher mount. If you want to risk the crowns, go for it. And good luck on getting 3%. Otherwise, you can buy 2 bundles, the Polarian if it's still out, and the Battle Mage to get the 2 damage right off the back, and hopefully get lucky with that. Yeah. And then the deck, of course, is your Paradox deck. Accuracy into that because you're already at 100%, so you might as well just put more accuracy into your gear even though you really don't need it. So that is essentially your overall setup, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Real quick, let me just show you what I mean by you can swap out the boots and swap out the hat and keep the boots on Paradox, and I mean your overall stats are still pretty good. I mean, you increase my damage by 4. Your resist goes from 39 up to 51, and you only lost 4 from the tanky one. So I mean, you go up in damage, you go up in resist. Your accuracy, I think, went up, and you still have more than enough. You only need 20, I might remind you. And then crit goes up. Ooh, that actually goes up quite a bit. Your block actually stays up. Your armor piercing is higher. Man, this is actually, why didn't I not just show you this setup? Oh, 7 instead of the 9. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good setup. Go up in damage, go up in resist, go up in accuracy. Shadow Pip could be 2 higher if you swap to the hat, but that's okay if you don't. Max Pips, 43 critical, it's a whole lot higher than the 31 that I was showing earlier, and 27 armor piercing, real nice there. So, I mean, you don't have to upgrade to the Paradox hood. You can stick with the Crocopatcher for the high resist. I mean, you do gain higher damage, but it's probably not a whole lot in your eyes because 12 universal resist is hard to lose because it just makes you more tanky. So, anywho, and 7k health, that's pretty nice. But anywho, this is the overall setup. That's the Paradox gear in action for death. Expect to see Paradox gear on fire and Storm soon. I'm just trying so hard for stupid Storm Titan to give me my last piece for both wizards. And then they're not 130 yet. They're sitting at like 122 and 124. And I will probably, when I get the gear, I'll just showcase the gear, and then you'll know what to expect because I'll do the calculation. I'll have the calculator and everything like that, and work it out with you there for the in-game setup. But I can. Oh, you know what? I can actually probably just showcase Connie. That's probably what I'll do is I'll showcase Connie, and I'll just go ahead and just show you real quick what you're missing out on for the gear setup that I created for Storm. This is literally insane. 150 damage, max accuracy. You're 1 off from Rusalka and Iron Man. Be careful. You got max critical. Her armor piercing's low, but in my setup, you'll lose like 4 damage or something like that. You'll keep your max crit, and you'll have 28 armor piercing. High pip conversion, high power pip chance, shadow pip's nice, and stun resist will be 5, and the incoming I think will be a little low. It's only going to be 12%. But I mean, it's insane to think that you get max crit with 150 damage, keeping your max accuracy and max power pip chance for a Storm Wizard. So anywho, I'll showcase her setup in another video until I get my setup all working right, and then I'll showcase that one as well. So anywho, have a good one, guys. I will see you guys in another video. Sorry, it's been a very long time since I've posted a video. I will try to get in the habit of posting more videos in the future, as well as sorry for this lengthy video. It's about a 25-minute video, so I apologize for that. And anywho, guys, I will see you guys another day. Have a Merry Christmas, and bye-bye.